Prosecutor Michael Donovan in New York, Staten Island, I guess, the borough, deciding to do essentially the same thing that Bob McCullough did in Ferguson, which is present the defense for the police officer to the grand jury at the same time that you're presenting what might be prosecution evidence, has a lot of people. This is why has a lot of people, really outraged and deeply so and appropriately so. And this is why back, a couple of weeks ago, or I lose track of time, but a while ago when the Michael Brown non-verdict or the non-indictment came down, there was, of course, this move to say, and in fact, the Michael Brown family calling for body cameras on cops. Well, number one, here we have actual video of the murder of this fellow. Eric Garner's murder is on videotape, including after he has stopped breathing and is unconscious and is presumably well on his way to dead. Yet he has just stopped breathing. The cops roll him over, and nobody decides to try CPR on him. I mean, that's mind-boggling to me. So anyhow, my point was that the body cameras is arguably a nice first step. We've seen this with the dash cams in police cars. I think if you're going to do that, you have to put some teeth into it. You have to say that if a police officer's body camera did not record an incident where a police officer is being charged with a crime, the police officer is no longer entitled to the presumption of innocence. Which is how it works when you refuse a breathalyzer when you're pulled over by the police right now. If you say, no, I'm not going to blow into that tube or whatever, that contraption, then you are presumed guilty and you must demonstrate your innocence. And if a police officer says, no, I don't have video of my interaction with that guy, he's presumed guilty and he has to demonstrate his innocence. This would go a long way, in number one, toward encouraging the use of cameras, but two, cleaning up some of the stuff in our criminal justice system. So, I pointed that out, but, I said, the body cameras aren't a panacea. They aren't going to solve all the problems. What are some of the things we should be looking at? Well, number one, and this has been my rant from day one, it's crazy that a prosecutor who literally depends on the police department to do his job every single day, and if the cops are PO'd at this prosecutor and they start testifying in ways that can throw cases for him, and his conviction rate starts collapsing, he's not going to be a prosecutor very much longer. I mean, this isn't just like, relying on your, not ratting out your fellow people at work because, somebody treated you poorly or spoke badly. This goes way beyond that. I mean, the police actually have the power simply by, when they get up on the stand saying, well, I think I saw that. Boom, the case just blows up, right? And if a prosecutor suddenly has hostile police, he's going to lose his job. So he's got to be on the side of the cops. And therefore, the prosecutor and the grand jury, who also, work hand in glove with the police, they should not be investigating each other. The prosecutor or the grand jury should not be investigating the police. There needs to be an independent special prosecutor appointed from out of town before a group of citizens who are not on an ongoing day-to-day relationship with the police whenever a police officer is charged with a crime, or whenever they're, at the very least, I mean, this is the very highest bar, at the very least, whenever anybody dies at the hands of police. But I would go beyond that. I would say whenever a civilian, whenever a citizen asserts that a police officer or police department, I mean, there were a number of cops involved in the takedown of Eric Garner here, who arguably are all guilty of homicide or participating in homicide. If you participate in a crime, you are, and even though you're not the guy who pulled the trigger or did the chokehold, you're still part of the guilty, if you drive the getaway car for somebody who robs a bank and kills the bank guard in the process, you can be prosecuted for murder, even though you never got out of the car. So, this concept is pretty straightforward. And by the way, here's the ultimate irony. And this was over at What website? Oh, it's Raw Story. Raw Story published this. Here, the headline says it all. New York Police Department cop, NYPD cop who choked Eric Garner was not indicted, but the man who recorded the incident, the guy who videotaped it, he was indicted. The grand jury presented an indictment for him. They said he had that he had an unloaded gun, and that he had stuffed it inside the waistband of a 17-year-old to get rid of it. He says that they trumped this up in retaliation for his videotaping these cops killing this young man, this father of 6. We got to do something about this. And frankly, white people and white liberals have been too silent on this for too long. You know, life is comfortable for white people in this country, by and large. It's white privilege. So on the conservative side, you've got conservatives who they just don't like change. They're sitting around going, "Hey, you know, let's not upset the apple cart. Things are fine the way they are." And then you got liberals on the other side going, "Well, it doesn't seem so bad to me." White liberals who live in a white world by and large don't, you know, they just don't. So we all need to wake the hell up. Speaking to white people in this country, we all need to wake